are in for a treat. Now, up until this moment, I have been the only queen on this stage, the only drag queen, with my various drag queen names. First of all, welcome to Carla Collins, Rox the Elmo. But do you know me by these names? My Hebrew drag queen name, Yum Yum Kapoor, when I perform at the Kabbalah Center. Or my millennial drag queen name, Ariana Grande. What about my political drag queen name, Gerrymandering? And of course, my various pandemic drag queen names, Miley Virus, Antibody, and Anita Mask. These two are begging me to stop, so I'm gonna hand it over to them. This is the Carla Collins Rox the Elmo Ultimate Drag Show, and I have two of the best queens this side of Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my very special guests today, Hillary Yaas and Wilma Fingerdoo.
Hi. So good to be here. Where exactly am I? I just spoke up.
It is early for drag, isn't it?
If the sun is up, the drag is still down.
Yes, it's like comedy. When people are like, you've got a Zoom booking at 10 a.m., I'm like, great. That's like Gitmo Bay. So I am thrilled to have, but first of all, ladies, you look stunning.
Thank you so much. I can take care of that issue for you. Are you stunned often?
Yep, and yet not a real blonde.
Me either.
Now, Hillary, may I call you Hillary?
I suppose. My mother calls me Matthew, but we're working on that. Go ahead.
The mommy issues are just, well, she doesn't know where she is most of the time.
I don't like to talk about gender.
That's right, ladies and genders. Hillary, I noticed when reading your bio that,
I have a bio.
yes, the results are coming back. And the bio says that you are Barbie if she were all wrong, and that's kind of my byline, that I'm like, you know, dollar store Barbie or a Barbie you might find at Winners or Ross.
Okay, I burnt it. I take it and I burnt it. No, actually, that's an old bio anyway.
Okay, so what's the new bio then? You tell us, doll.
The first line of my new bio is essentially just, Hillary Yaas is glad to be here. I really like taking whatever the heck I can get, because despite the fact you work so stupidly hard to even look this mediocre.
Before noon.
Before noon, before a gosh darn drink, you know?
You didn't have a drink.
You know what, maybe I'll leave this one to you.
The first rule of drag,
Yes, Wilma.
drink.
Oh,
You have to have a cocktail or you don't get into the mood to put all of this on.
because, I mean, honestly, how long does it take you guys to look like this?
8 years.
How?
Oh, but I call everybody guys. I know it's not just they. I don't know. Please, if I have
got
to
up
be
this
politically
morning.
correct, I'm going to be really screwed on this one.
I set my alarm for 5. I usually get up at 5, though. I have to warn you, I'm nosy. I like to know what's going on in the world. I get up early. And then I started at 6, shaving. But it had been a few days. I had to actually take clippers to my face to get hair off and then shave. And then I think I was putting face on by 7. I was done by maybe 11. Wow. Maybe 10:30. I was early.
Yeah, and
I
by
was
11,
early.
she means the 11th of like November.
Right.
Quite a long time.
It really is. It was longer than my first marriage.
But if I'm
and the
if I'm
second
getting
one
ready
too,
for
combined.
a YouTube video,
Right.
where I'm the only one keeping myself, like no one's waiting for me.
Right.
You know, I'll start and I'll block out my eyebrows, and then maybe it's time to watch some TV. Or I'm a bit of the OCD, I do 40 things at once, so sometimes I'll be in the
ADD.
middle of, thank you, ADD, that's it. So
that's-
I don't even have enough of attention span to remember 3 letters. That's how bad it is.
Understand.
And so then, you know, I'll be in the middle of blocking my eyebrows and I'll think, oh, I should make some new eyelashes. Or I've got that fabric. I'll see that fabric out of the corner of my eye I've been wanting to make something out of, and I have, and now all of a sudden I'm fired by inspiration. So it might be 4 hours, 5 hours later that the whole face is on, and then I start filming. But I can do it in about 2.5 if
Like a quickie, if you really had to, because I know
like no glitter,
Right.
just makeup
just
and
basic
lips.
bitch stuff. Just basic bitch
Yeah,
stuff.
that's me, basic bitch.
Because that's what I think when I look over. No, you look like a mermaid, made love to a unicorn, And then a beautiful...
Keep going.
Yes, I know. And one of Charlie's Angels.
Really?
Yes.
Not the one you think.
It's never the one you
Probably
think.
the one
It's
that
never
got
the one you-
fired.
Not the one with the
No.
turtleneck, though, who was the smart one,
The one
obviously.
that put
Kelly.
on weight and she got fired. I think her name was
It was
Joan.
Charlie ran a tight ship. It was tough to be an angel.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. They went through them.
For people who are new to drag, right? And I mean, I have been, jokingly, and Wilma knows this, Wilma and I go way back. And we did a comedy show together, and I went with the cell line 4 out of 5 drag queens prefer Carla Collins. And when the flyer came out, Wilma had added 4 out of 5 drag queens are Carla Collins. So I have been a drag mother, sister,
Cousin, wife,
stepchild. Yes,
all of it.
Everything. Midwife, exactly. Yeah. I've been a drag trophy wife, but that was a long time ago. So I know all about it. I'll start with you, Wilma. What inspired you to start putting all this time and effort into looking this good?
Well, I actually started in wardrobe making costumes for actors, like on TV shows and stuff like that. And in doing that, you let it slip in a room full of gay men that you can sew. The drag queens percolate to the top and corner you. And I got cornered.
And if you've ever been cornered by a drag queen, I got to tell you,
look at the size of me. It would have to take a hell of a drag queen to do it, too. So I ended up, Misconception hooked her wagon to my engine.
Misconception being a very well-known
She's
drag
an
queen.
international drag queen now.
So Hillary, when did you start drag, and what was that evolution? Did you start with just eyelashes and then work your way down?
That's a funny thing that you mentioned eyelashes. When I first started, I had this weird hobby of like putting eyelashes just on the bottom. I don't
Very
know
Madonna,
why.
very Madonna.
I just decided this is my drag. I put lashes on the bottom. Look at me.
You were ahead of the curve.
Or very behind it. I'm not.
Or maybe
quite
you were
sure.
just on your own curve.
You know.
A lonely, solitary curve.
I'm a boomerang.
As I say, you get so far ahead that you can hit a 360. So you don't know whether you're ahead of your time or just
behind someone else's.
Just hopelessly behind. But now, you both have been at this for a while, and now drag is everywhere.
It's
RuPaul,
amazing.
I mean, look, whether you love, I don't know how you feel about RuPaul's Drag Race, but what a game changer.
I wouldn't be doing drag if it weren't for RuPaul's Drag Race. God's honest truth, and here's why. I'm a stand-up comic. I was doing stand-up comedy alongside you forever. And at that time, I was working for Out TV here in Canada doing something else. And season 4 of Drag Race was happening.
Right.
This is the season Sharon Needles won. It was the first
Canadian.
No, Sharon Needles is American. This was This was 8 years ago when season 4 started.
I can't do math. Don't
No,
worry.
but the thing was,
I don't even know where Sharon Needles is from, so I'm right there with
Pittsburgh.
the sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's all I have.
Steel
That's
Town
all
Girl
I
on a
have.
Saturday night.
But at that time, they had announced the cast, and so it was the 4th year of Drag Race, and people were starting to. It was buzzy, and people were like, ooh, and getting excited.
Right.
Hedda Lettuce, a fabulous drag queen out of New York.
NYC.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm assuming Hedda Lettuce is a vegan queen.
Yeah, well, her wigs are
wish.
anyway. But she did a response video. Now, keep in mind, this is 8 years ago. YouTube wasn't what it is now.
Right.
We didn't have beauty gurus then. There was none of
Tutorials.
it. And she went out on her own and recorded this reaction to the cast. And it was vicious. It was funny. There were some, this was the year we had the princess, the bald queen, and she goes, the princess, and she had 4 other things to call her. And it was very, very funny. And I said to the people at Out TV, oh, you should get a drag queen to do one of those for you guys. And they were like, because you know how production people are. It's like, they're not going to look. You do it, they said. And I had always said, if I were a drag queen, my name would be Wilma Fingerdoo. And I would sing Karen White's Superwoman, But at that time, I was actually on the radio.
And look what you manifested,
I know.
darling.
At the time, I was on the radio. I would introduce songs. If I were a drag queen, my name would be, and this is and that's how I'd introduce songs. And I ended up doing a video for them because I was doing these weekly updates for their channel. It was promoting what their advertising, like their programming. So we did the work. Like I did I don't even know where the video is, but I think I borrowed a breastplate, I don't even think the dress fit me. I think I put the hanger behind my neck and let the dress just sit in front of me.
A breastplate, very Spartan-esque.
Yeah, well, no, like silicone with
Yeah,
nipples.
you know,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
very
yeah,
neat.
you can't.
Oh.
They follow you wherever you go. Those
Right.
kind of.
Yeah, and you can't
I can
get
find
it at,
water.
You can't get it at like Walmart.
No, you got to go to
No.
boobsforqueens.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had this wig, like somebody's really nice styled wig, just on my head. I don't think I had makeup on. I may have had false eyelashes, but I had a beard.
Bearded
Yeah,
girl.
well, a goatee, yes.
Oh, amazing.
And then for a year, I actually reviewed Drag Race. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why I did it, but I enjoyed watching the show.
Well, it was becoming such a phenomenon into the mainstream, and that was the best part, were the after shows, because I believe, if I'm quoting RuPaul, you could throw shade and spill tea and read a book, or I don't know, Wang Chung, I'm not
Death to
sure
drop.
entirely
It's
what
a
all
lot.
the cool
It's
things
cardio.
are.
Shabam and
Yeah, the
Yeah,
shablams and the
etc.
shablingas. And
All new words very much in the vernacular now.
yes.
they
But-
really have been. Hasn't like.
Do you feel like
drag
people
lingo-
are cultural appropriating from you, and I'm being completely
well, drag's
serious?
culturally appropriated.
That's yes.
Drag's
Yes.
culturally appropriated. If it weren't for black girls, there wouldn't be drag queens. I'm just saying it.
Okay,
No,
and
you're
now
not just
I
saying
know
it,
the
you're
history,
totally
but,
right.
but work us through, because this is very fascinating.
Well, nobody knows better about wigs than a black girl, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of the culture that's sassy, like the tongue popping, that's a black girl.
Right.
That's not a drag
yes,
queen. A drag
right.
queen saw a black girl do it, and the cameras were facing the drag queen. That's what happened.
Okay.
You know, it's like the gay movement.
and black culture and underground
Of
queer
course.
culture kind of crossed over.
Yeah.
There's the ball culture, which is finally having a heyday now.
Finally. But the ball culture
I have a
is
question.
also.
What's the ball culture?
Well, if you're not washing, it's usually furry and it'll give you a smell. No, I'm kidding. It's
Now you know.
in New York.
That's on me for
specific-
asking.
In New York specifically, a lot of these disenfranchised gay youth were from poor families. They were people of color.
Right.
Also, the cultures weren't allowing for homosexuality, so they were literally ousted. And these houses developed where people would kind of flop together. And there was also this ball event going on where people would go. It was to escape your life, so they had categories. This is where voguing came from. This is where realness, the word realness, she is serving executive
it.
realness,
Yes,
high fashion
serving.
realness,
Tens,
private school
across
girl.
the board.
Yes. She bring it to you every ball. That is all ball culture decades ago. On Netflix,
Throwing
Paris is
shade.
Burning talks about it
Right.
a lot. The
Yes,
Queen
brilliant.
happened in the 60s, and these were balls in the 60s, but did you watch The Queen?
Yeah. Well, that's not. That's,
You want to feel good about yourself as a woman in the world? You watch those men in wigs. Drag in the 60s was not pretty.
Well, and my God, it was not be.
But they were
I mean,
feeling
now
it.
it's like on Vogue, and
If
you've
you're
got-
not flawless now, stop. Stop it. No, it's true. Like, there's no excuse now.
I disagree with.
Oh, is that right?
Well, give
I
us your
think anyone
counterpoint.
can do.
Oh, no,
drag.
anyone can do drag. And I love that there's things like Camp Wanakiki on YouTube where they're showing that broad spectrum of real drag.
I'm
Can't get
so
enough of
sorry,
it.
sugar bakers.
Ah!
How dare you? No, it's good.
No, I
Camp
love it. No, because they're
Wanakiki.
showing drag queens that are real. That you would, if you went to a bar, those are the queens you're seeing. When you watch
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race, you're not going to those bars. They're not going to those bars. They're too famous for those bars
It's
now.
kind of, it's like the Hollywood version. It's like how Charlize Theron would play me in a movie, because that bitch will.
Yeah.
Like, you get the Hollywood
Only if
bump
you
up,
kill
right?
a man.
Right.
You got to
Well,
kill a
I
man
just,
in real
I
life.
just figure if Tanya Harding got Margot Kidder, I better get at least Charlize Theron.
At least
I-
the Charlize
Or
Theron.
a flawless queen. Now, I mean, I know this is, you're going to probably say this is different, but I mean, drag is as old as time.
It is.
And the Shakespearean days, right? When, because of course only the men were allowed in the theater, so they played on the women's roles, and the apostles. Come on, those robes. Give me a break. It wasn't always 12
They say
guys
that's where the
following
term-
Jesus.
Let's say that's where the term comes from. Dragging the dress around, drag, or dressed as a girl.
Right, that's
D-R-A-G.
that. I heard it was an acronym. Yes.
You never know what the truth is, but we'll go with it.
Well,
I know-
and now, I mean, I have to say, I had a problem on my YouTube channel with one viewer where the debate came up a few years ago about women doing drag because there were a lot of bio queens happening. And bio queens are cisgendered women. This is
Right.
born and identifying as female.
Yes.
Doing drag. I have no problem with women doing drag, but drag by
In
its
its purest
definition, is a
essence.
transformation.
Right.
I would much rather see a woman look like a man convincingly in front of me, because her looking like a woman, regardless of the level of it, is irrelevant.
Feels like she maybe has a leg up. Now, what if, like, are
I
there drag
disagree with
kings?
that.
Are
Well,
there
no,
drag
it's still
So
fascinating.
do you mean, is it called drag king? Like, would I?
Absolutely,
If
for
I
like a
bearded up and I'd go stubble because I think it's sexier.
Yeah,
And
if you're,
easier
if you're
and to check back around 5. But is that what the term is? I'm not trying to.
A female
it depends
doing
upon
drag
the gender you're
as a
presenting
male.
in.
Yeah.
So if I were presenting as a dude, because let's be honest, I got a lot of yang.
yeah.
Would I be a king?
Drag king.
I would be a king. Okay,
You know,
so
drag
that is the
queen.
proper term.
And I'm so glad that that's starting
drag
to move to the
thing
forefront.
is something in between. I mean, there's a lot of interesting terms that.
Because
They're
on
all
the
coming.
binary, non-binary scale, there,
Yes,
so there are a lot of
non-binary.
So
Well, the sexual
there's
frontiers
niches
are
now.
last frontier.
Right.
We're dealing with race. We're dealing with culture. But as far as gender, when somebody, like I had a conversation at work, why do you refer to somebody cisgendered? It's like, well, it would be insulting to trans women to call them a real woman when they're biologically a woman.
Right.
That person's mentally a woman. They were at birth. They just are in the wrong body. And this is why with trans assignment, like all of that, they go through such psychological, because some people
course.
think they're trans because they can't handle being gay, or some people think they're gay because they don't know there's such a thing as trans. So
that even exists. Do you think Elliot Page will do great good for this?
well, I'm hoping
Keeping it topical?
he can't do worse than Caitlyn Jenner.
Are you of the opinion Caitlyn set things back?
No, because Caitlyn brought attention. And
Right.
on her show, the best thing about her reality show, she had some great trans women saying
Yes.
all the right
Yes, I
things.
watched all those
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened if she hadn't been such a liberal old man.
Well, exactly,
mentally.
because I mean, she's a trashy human being, but
Yeah.
the fact is that she surrounded herself with very, very interesting people who
Yeah.
knew how to talk about the conversation a lot better than she did.
Yeah, like that's the thing with Caitlyn Jenner. Would we have even looked at her if she didn't look that good on cover of Vogue?
Oh, well,
'Cause
that just
there are
I know
lots of
Annie
trans-
Leibovitz, thanks
because-
very much.
Honey, humans are trash. Like that's we're
Fair.
as deep as lunch trays
But you
to
can
begin
make
with.
anyone
so of
look
course.
good with the right lens and filter.
Tell
You know
me
what I
about it.
mean? I mean, it's really it's not that impressive now that people. But Caitlyn Jenner had a lot of things going for her. She was, in her youth, a triathlete winner, the best,
exactly.
on
A
cover of Wheatie boxes.
hero.
The
American
epitome of
hero.
male masculinity.
Yes.
So right away, and the jokes that people had about Caitlyn Jenner leading up to her announcement, they all knew, but no one talked about it. But we were so dismissive. And then when she came out as trans, people were like, well, that explains it. Like, not even like, oh, I feel like an asshole now. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, can we swear?
Oh yeah, of course.
But,
Hello, it's my
but
show. Come on.
it was there
Obviously.
was a lot of, for the people in our community, she was not a great spokesmodel.
Okay.
No.
But for the community, she was a great advertisement, because a lot of
Yes.
people who
Brought
would
attention.
never.
Of course.
I have this conversation with people all
Mm-hmm.
the time because in our community, I mean, we're all hot button. Ooh, we scream at each other about everything.
That's why we drink.
Exactly. But, like there was that terrible movie that came out on Stonewall where they literally changed it so a white kid
Yeah.
from Nebraska or
Yeah.
something threw a brick through the window instead of Martha P. Johnson. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for us.
No.
It was for the ignorant people in Nebraska.
Yeah.
To
so
at
like
least
drag
give
for
them a
dummies
foothold.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, real
right?
dumb.
I mean, because it's baby. No, but it is baby steps. So
Yeah.
I was watching AJ and the Queen. Surprise, of course, which I love. Which is
I
on
loved it. I
Netflix
thought
with
it was
RuPaul.
a lot of fun.
I mean, RuPaul's has long
You
been.
forget that RuPaul performed for decades before any of this.
Exactly, and the RuPaul's story from homeless to mogul is of course
Well, homeless to
Incredibly.
superstar to almost homeless.
homeless again
to
due to
mogul.
yes, it's a phenomenal journey. And,
Yeah, I don't
and
begrudge him a penny. Take it all. You fracked that land. I don't care.
He really did. Oh, yeah. It's a trailblazer or whatever you.
She earned the right to frack that land.
Heels is not easy, and I never. My feet are shaped like Barbies at this point because I'm always in high heels. It's where I get my power.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like why do we even need a heel? Why is that even there anymore?
Well, I think the future, like if I were to have a child and a girl, she's gonna just be in heels. Like, I mean, naturally part of her body. It's evolution, guys. We don't have time to explain
That's
that.
how they pull them out. They hook the heel.
Oh, just buy the heels. But there was a beautiful line, and I'm sure you've heard it, and it really stayed with me. And it was an episode with Jane Krakowski, I believe, who's RuPaul's character's childhood friend, and she's putting on a faux accent, and she's nouveau riche, and she's day drinking like crazy, and obviously very miserable. And she said, "You're right, I am in drag," because he accuses her of being in drag, and his answer was, "We're all in drag,
It's all drag,
and we all are."
Yeah.
It's one of the truest and most simple statements.
The first
of
time
this
I
year.
heard the word drag, Patti LaBelle said it on some show, and she's like, "Oh, it's time to put on my drag," and I'm like, "What is she talking about?" But it's drag. This isn't when you're getting dressed for your bus driving job. That is drag.
Yes.
You're not a bus driver. You are from this hour to this hour, but that's not who you are.
Very,
and it's the same thing. I
interesting.
think with drag, the fun thing about that is like I get to pick when I do this. Do you know what I mean? If I'm
It's
having a bad day, I just pretty it up
controlled.
and set the camera going and tell the world how fabulous I am. I don't need to. I don't know. It's weird, but there's a power. There's also something I think, as we've been talking about race this year, and entitlements come up, and people are starting to understand what that means. There's still a male entitlement to drag. I'm still a dude. I don't have to worry about being raped. I don't have to worry about being dismissed. And if I do, I can handle it.
You're getting all the good
Because this
parts.
comes off, these come off. Let's go. I mean, I might throw like a girl, but I'm a 350-pound girl. You
And
better
you're like,
brace
what,
yourself.
6'6"?
It's 4. In heels, 4. 7.
I'm a size Queen Hillary, so I always
She likes
add
them-
a couple of inches
she
to
likes
make men
the
feel
inches.
better. The camera.
But there has to be
I
where
totally
there's.
agree with you. I
But
totally
with
agree.
male
Yes, and I
drag,
never heard this stated.
but
It's
I do
true.
feel that there's because I'm still a man in here. Now,
Right.
there are different levels of masculinity, and in drag,
Like
it
Justin
really,
Trudeau.
Exactly. His cheeks
When
are
he's
too
got
high
that
for me.
beard, though,
Sophie?
Not for you.
I know, it's virus high fives. COVID
we're
high
done.
fives.
We're done. No.
So what is, I'm going to ask this first to you, Hillary. So what are things like generally, what's it like for you now from when you first started? Is there an acceptance, especially now that you're chic, right? It's like, oh, I need to have a poodle and a drag queen. Like now, because every Karen's going to, and I know that you're going to speak to this in your performance, is going to appropriate, or the Johnsons have drag friends, right? So are you more comfortable in your own gown now?
Versus like a while ago now.
Yeah, your own trajectory, because we can only go by our own history, right?
I think I'm always becoming more and less comfortable with myself in general. I mean, I think you always go in ups and downs, but
Yeah.
I am always in my drag, and one of the reasons why I got into drag was because I was trying to find a fuller expression of myself, and there was this unexplored queer culture that I had kind of pushed to the side. There was this unexplored femininity. Yes, I am a boy, but the thing is, I wanted to embrace femininity so I could understand it better. Women are treated worse in society.
terrible.
So you
are.
guys are always like an episode of Undercover Boss.
It is. I
right?
know.
I mean, remember when Tyra Banks
Well,
had the fat
I
suit
have
on?
something to tell you.
Michael Weckerly. Super good review. So
That would be a fabulous show.
it-
Dress your boss up like a drag
Oh
queen
my
and then
God.
have them reveal themselves.
Absolutely.
I
That's
can't.
better than when Kylo Ren went undercover on Saturday Night Live, Adam Driver. I do want to ask this because you're a stand-up comedian. And
I try.
Right? And so for me, and not to be cliche, but particularly since my mother passed away, or when the stage is an escape. And I think I'm being pretty authentic, but it's a stage self. This is not me when I'm back at the funny farm or walking the dogs or, is there an extra layer on that? Like, so so there's comedy and performing, plus you're in drag, plus, like, is it just a Russian doll? Is it a Russian nesting doll?
It's interesting because I think of the last question in that, like, when I started drag, I always wanted to be funny. You know, my name is Hillary Yaas, like the pun, hilarious. Like, that's my goal. Okay, and if I fail, oh well, I'll change my name. But I really want to get that funny thing out there, and I don't know, I forgot the question.
You said it was a great question, so that's all I cared about. And then I stopped listening because I'm like, yes, I'm awesome. No, you said it's funny you bring up comedy because you said you called hilarious.
Yes.
Because you wanted to be funny.
Yes, because because it's my truer self. Like I don't know I can't remember the question.
Are you saying that you can more fully express yourself on stage as a performer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Express myself.
There we go. Go, Madonna.
Yeah, because in the beginning, like I would try and do comedy and stuff like that, but I was always kind of blocked by this projection of my own character. I was like, oh, I'm a drag queen who has to pretend to do comedy. Ooh, how do I do this? Oh, sachet, I'm RuPaul. But it's like, I'm not RuPaul. I'm not the character. I had to like start to find a truer essence of myself. Like I think drag, even though you dress up, you actually reveal things about yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you feel
for sure.
safer, right?
Yeah.
Well, just like you could, much more is allowed if you're doing a character in comedy. Than if I come out here as me, and especially in these politically correct, cancel, whatever, can't say hello times, well, hello, that just offended me. You know, my mother was killed by the word hello. Like, you never know, right? So you're already walking on eggshells that way. But it's interesting when you're a character.
Well, you know, the thing about
so much
drag,
more is allowed.
Absolutely.
Even without the drag.
Sorry. The thing I love about drag is I did go to theater school. I'm a trained actor. This is clown.
Oh, me too. High five.
Clown.
It's a couple of thespians.
In its purest
What did you call me?
No.
That's right, sister, you heard it.
You've eaten out the wine. But when you think of clown and you put that mask on and you let that work, because that's part of clown work is mask.
Of course.
And you take your face away and you're looking in the mirror and now you're seeing what that face does to your body and how you move. It's the same with drag. Like you can have an idea of what you'd like to be in drag. You can think, oh, I want to be RuPaul. But until you're in drag, you don't know. And I have to say, as somebody who's written comedy for myself, for real, like they're all real stories. Like my jokes on stage aren't, made up.
Right.
They're from life. To write for my drag persona has been very interesting because none of it's real.
So the world's your oyster.
And it's very open. And I'm actually now, because I rewrite lyrics to songs. I'm just now working on Madonna's True Blue, but I've written it as a love letter to 2020, and I'm just calling it Screw You. And because I play the guitar, because I don't have cats, and I thought that would be fun. But in writing lyrics like that, I've also realized now for Wilma, I'm also trying to get. You have to do everything yourself, and I'm trying to get my website up. And WordPress is not easy. I'm just going to tell you, they say it is. It is not.
No, and I'll tell you, I think really any drag performer, the hardest working people in showbiz, no competition.
Well, you have to do it
and
all.
Also hardest drinking.
Yes, I hope so. And also just hardest. But we'll be right back. So I don't know, I'm doing stupid shtick, but and I wish we're going to have to make this a mini series, obviously, because we can't do the complete history.
This is the iceberg tip of the queendom.
Is that what she calls it now?
Well, she does when I let her talk.
That's when I want to rename the show. Welcome back. I'm Carla Collins. This is just the tip. So I don't know what will be a couple of good closers, but I think I want to know in the drag vernacular, because we were talking about this before we started to roll, is that there seem to be all these terms. Like, for example, you're from, Hillary Yaas is from Vicky Lix's, it's the House of Hole.
House of Hole.
House of Licks.
House of Licks, Entertainment. Yes, so Hole, the House of Licks Entertainment. There we go.
Yeah.
And she referred to you as, she said, I'm going to be sending my drag daughter to your
Oh,
show.
yeah.
And then one of our mutual
Because
friends,
Vicky
Wilma,
Licks calls me her unofficial drag mother.
Okay, so I don't know how this hierarchy, and I'm watching
don't
The
get it
Crown and it's
either.
not helping. So tell me what the pecking order is.
My drag mother is YouTube,
Yeah.
because that's who taught me to do drag.
And then Prince Charles is second in succession. And then it's Harry, and then I think it
Camilla
might be
Parker
you.
Bowles, and then maybe me, yes.
But I learned to do drag properly, even though I've sewn for drag queens for years and I've watched them make up and everything. Like I know the process. Nobody put me in drag. I did it.
Okay.
And so to be a drag mother, you have to. Originally, it was you nurtured a fledgling drag queen, so you taught them how to do everything. Like they would come to you and go, "How's this?" We train, tweak it, do this.
Like a mentorship.
Absolutely, like a
Okay.
proper mother, but a stage mother. And then it became, well, who named you was your drag mother? Because my misconception would be the closest to a drag mother, because I did learn a lot just watching her. Not,
Right.
But her friend, Shalita Buffet, told me about a queen she'd met named Wilma Fingerdoo. I laughed so hard when I heard the name, I had to sit down. It was the funniest thing, and I was right at that point, that's my drag queen name. So in another theory, Shalita Buffet is my drag mother. And then Vicky Licks went on stage, her first time in drag, at a show I was hosting. But I really don't have a history with Vicky before that. So I feel, I'm always flattered she says it, but it's not true. I feel like there are probably people that were more instrumental in her drag than me. But I'm honored that she says it.
Well, I'm not going to speak for her necessarily, but I think she does highly respect you in that
Oh,
regard.
thanks.
Definitely thinks that you're her comedy inspiration.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a hoot.
You are
You're
a
a hoot and a
hoot.
half. I'll tell you, I'm just very confused about bringing your daughter to work day. I don't know who the fuck to bring right now.
And
is there a drag mommy position? Because I feel like that makes me
You know
sound
who's the best
sexier.
person is a drag aunt. That's you.
That's me.
Yeah,
Drag
that's
auntie.
you. Yeah.
A drag auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
get
was
it all,
I
but
was auntie body during the during the pandemic. So you're going to perform again. Will you both promise to come back? Because
Absolutely.
I really would love. I'd love to keep talking. This has been amazing, ladies.
As you know, I live on YouTube. I'm the YouTube queen of Canada. So I'm good for a Zoom next time if it gets worse.
Right.
I'm just saying, if it
and
gets
we've-
worse.
I'm not that fast, so we'll have to go on to slow.
But I
for
do
me.
have my own line of masks if we have to do this again.
That's right, and thank you for these. Thank you so much, Wilma Fingerdoo.
Oh, thanks for
Where
having
can
me
people
on.
find you?
The Fingerdoo review on YouTube. If you search Wilma Fingerdoo with 2 O's, I'm the first one that pops up.
Because God knows if you search the one with 3 O's.
Oh,
And Hillary?
Yeah, I'm on the Insta. You can search Hillary Yaas. Hillary is with 2 L's, because I'm a nasty woman that way. And Yaas is like Yaas.
Like
So
Yaas Queen.
Yeah, like Yaas, but so it also kind of seems like it's an actual real name, like might be from Sweden. I don't know.
Okay, I like it. And be honest, did we slay all day?
well, what time is it? You slayed till 3.
We slayed slightly.
You
Where-
named.
where
You were a
even
solid
am
name.
I?
Where are any of us?
Where is this?
But if you cross your legs at me one more time, I'm just going to have to tell you.
It's very basic.
Calm down, Sharon Stone.
It's basic bitch instinct. Coming soon.
No, just the echo comes and goes. I just need to say it out loud.
Bullshit. It doesn't get any tighter. And that's how I'm ending the show. I have references. Why don't you read the Yelp reviews? Go! Love you. Love you. Stick around. Kimono, she didn't. Please don't stop watching. We have a tremendous performance coming up, despite my bad line. I really want to thank my wonderful guests, Wilma Fingerdoo, a best drag queen name ever, and a dear friend of mine, and Hillary Yaas. Get it? Hilarious. One of my favorite interviews, I have to say, since we started CC Rox the Elmo. I think we learned quite a bit about the history and the culture. And so obviously, my beautiful lovelies, yes, I'm wearing glitter. What better time? I'm going to give you a couple of quotes from RuPaul. And as I mentioned, there's a wonderful performance coming up, but I'm not a fool. I know not to follow a queen. So some of my favorite RuPaul quotations, and there are so many to choose from. Now Zira's messing with my lighting. It's so much fun recording at the Funny Farm. Come here, you little Dickens. All right, some of my favorite RuPaul lines include, we're all born naked, the rest is drag. Don't get bitter, get better. And this one, when he was talking about drag in an interview, he said it's sort of a piss take on culture because a drag queen is a clown, a parody of our society. It's a sarcastic spoof on culture which allows us to laugh at ourselves, but in a way that is inclusive of everyone. I so love that. And now my quote, because you know I don't like the Disney princesses, except for the Little Mermaid, because she's my perfect woman. You know, when I have a few drinks, if I make out with another woman, I only like above the waist action. You know, some kisses, some booby play. But that's not important for this show. So I like to say to all you young adult women who want to be Milan or Jasmine, please, don't be a princess when you can be a queen. And now we have such a special treat. You can't have the ultimate drag show without the Queen of Queens. She was my mom's absolute favorite drag queen. I have had the honor of working with Misconception a couple of times, and that's why I know that I don't follow her. She closes strong. She is our snowbird sweetheart, an exceptional talent, which is why she's become an international star. And we were lucky enough for her to send us this fabulous performance from Puerto Vallarta. You know her, you love her, the amazing Misconception. Take it away, darling. You look fabulous.
Hi, Carla Collins. It's your favorite Canadian snowbird, Misconception, live here from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, in my dressing room, girl, which smells like a man. Ha! How you doing, sugar? It's nice to see you. Thank you for having me on your show. Let's sing a song, baby. Let's sing a song. I love this song so much because really, Carla, I am everybody's girl. A long time ago, a lady whose name was Carmen drove her man wild until she was out of control. I truly believe that I am the modern day Carmen. In spite of the fact I do not habla Espanol. That girl was exactly like me. We share this philosophy. Ole, I say. I'm not the type who's ready for dating someone steady. I'm everybody's girl. On Sunday night it's Danny. On Monday maybe Melanie. I'm everybody's girl. There's a point to my behavior, which is smart girls always share their riches. Hearts to come, so let it. You're certain to regret it. All others, come and get it. I'm everybody's girl. Oh, Carla, darling, I can never be a cowhand's girl. La 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 la. And you want to know why? Why? I just can't keep my calves together. I'm everybody's girl. That was a dad joke. So a lot of fellas cursing. This person needs this person. So to reaffirm my status, I'm absolutely gratis to use my apparatus. I'm everybody's girl. Woo! misconception rages. Girl, I'm in the yellow pages. Oh yeah, just look me up under the town bike. You won't be disappointed. I'm also double jointed, girl. Woo, girl. I'm everybody's girl. There's a point to my behavior, which is smart girls always share their riches once we divorce them. So to reaffirm my status, it's absolutely gratis, 'cause I'm using that apparatus again, girl. I'm everybody's girl. Oh, Carla, listen. Men and me are like pianos, girl. When they get upright, I feel grand. Everybody's girl. Yes, queen. I love you. Thank you for having me, my darling. Remember, I'm Canada's snowbird. Yes, misconception from Toronto, Canada, baby. I love you, girl. Wow.